And the first paper in the second session is going to be by the legendary celebrity figure in the chronology area, our own family member, our own Indic Academy family member, Nilesh Nilkant Okji. Uh, he has done tremendous work from the point of view of astronomy, and actually it covers multiple areas of psychology, cosmology, and several different areas like astronomical studies, and to an extent it belongs to the larger time scales that Puranas give us. Nilesh ji.
Namaskar, and I'll request Jeevan Rao. So Professor Paturiji, Jeevan Rao is the great presenter today, by the way, but I'll start. So namaskar, everyone. Understanding Yuga and Yuganta in Puranas.
Namaskar, everyone. I am Jeevan Rao, and I am just a amateur scholar, reader who got inspired by the works of Nilesh Okji and trying to follow his footsteps. So as of now, I am doing my research on Kali Yuga beginning, and that's what we are planning to showcase in this conference.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so a good presentation by Amritanshuji Pandeji, and it's a perfect timing what we are presenting. So those of you who are listening to this as a part of the conference participants, or the participants from outside not presenting papers, what I'm showing you on the screen, if that does not confuse you, especially when you try to reconcile with what Amritanshu Pandeji said, then I would say you are not paying attention to what he was saying, and you are not paying attention to what I'm showing you on the screen. Okay, they are extremely different scenarios, as he said. Those kind of differing viewpoints are good. We need to do a manthan and decide which one is the best approximation to the truth. And Indic Academy is again a great forum, and I would say what possibly comes out of this, one of the many things, is that when we have such a differing, extremely widely differing views, it would be great if Indic Academy can hold debates in a very Vada Parampara by following the rules of Nyaya, Sankhya, and so on. So quickly, what I'm showing you, this is a summary of my 25 plus years of work. What you see is the time axis. Today is 21st century, going backwards, -5 is 5000 BC, 10,000 BC, and so on. I extracted all single data point, every single data point from the Mahabharata text, specifically focusing on astronomy, more than 300 plus, put together as a jigsaw puzzle that leads me, or would lead anyone, if somebody studies Mahabharata, to 5561 BC. I did the same thing for Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, extracted close to 600 astronomy references. Again, if you put together in a jigsaw puzzle fashion, solving a crossword puzzle fashion, it leads to a very specific year and no other year, 12,209 BC for Ramayana. And then using a hydrology reference, the internal hydrology reference from the Rigveda, this is approximate period. The Rigveda goes somewhere from 6 millennium BC, which is contemporary with Mahabharata, the last portion, but going back to beyond 22,000 BC, corroborated by thousands of empirical, objectively testable evidence from multiple different disciplines of hard sciences. That's not the main issue today. The context is with the Yuga. Now go next, and next three. So now what we see is this. In Mahabharata, multiple times, it is the intercession of the Dwapara and Kali. Ramayana itself will say that it is in the Treta Yuga. That's all good. But when people like my astronomy work, people like my hydrology work, people are impressed with all the other evidence coming from different multiple disciplines of science. But they say, what about the Yuga? And what is that problem? Next. And I call this a Yuga dogma because if we ask an average Indian, randomly selected average Indian, and ask him how long is the Kali Yuga, you will hear the answer 432,000 years. Dwapar is twice that, Treta is 3 times that, and 4 times that. Now, is there such a Yuga like that in our Purana systems or Mahabharata? Yes, there is. But that's where the problem comes. Go to the next one. Because many of us think, almost all, that there is only one kind of Yuga, and that is this 432,000. Actually, if somebody reads this carefully, you realize that is not the case. If we read all our ancient Indian narratives, going beyond Purana also, going into the astronomy Siddhanta, going into Brahmanas, going into Ayurveda and various texts, including even the Bhakti literature. So quickly, if you take the time axis, like x-axis of timekeeping, going from a psychology aspect of a time, psychological feeling of a time to space-time, which is what we are typically familiar with, and the vertical axis of applicability, from going from a contextual, a specific application to a global or generic one, it creates 4 different types of yugas: theoretical, philosophical, practical, chronological. I have given a 5-set series on this, so I'm not going to go into the detail. I want to quickly give you one example each from each of the 4 categories. So if you can fill this, Jeevan, the next one. So in philosophical, for example, Aitareya Brahman talks about Kali Shayano Bhavati, Sanjihanastu Dwapara, Uttishta Treta Bhavati, Krutam Sampadyate Charash. I can't read that properly. Charaiveti, Charaiveti, Charaiveti. When you are sleeping, it's like as if you are in a Kali Yuga. When you wake up and sit down, you are in a Dwapar. When you get up, you are in a Treta. And if you start doing the action, doing some Kruti, walking, etc., you are in the Satya Yuga. This is a different type of philosophical framework. It's like has to do with the sattva, rajatama, your action, slowness, your activity versus not doing activity, has nothing to do with the time in the sense of the chronological time we are used to. Or if you go to the next category, the practical category, just there are many definitions. Mahabharata is huge on Raja Kalasya Karanam, which is like using your free will to create a certain yuga. But even from a devotional perspective, for example, Yugayitam Nimeshena, Chakshusha Pravrushayitam, Shunyayitam Jagat Sarvam, Govinda Virahiname. This is from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. For example, he says even a separation from Krishna, his Aradhya Devat, even for a second, feels like a yuga. Now, again, this is not the chronological type of yuga we are talking. This is a psychological type of yuga. Let's go to the next one, theoretical. And there are many. Dashavatar can be a good metaphor for understanding that theoretical framework of a biological evolution. But the one I want to pick up here is the astronomy competition, because that has made all this mess. What has happened is, if you read Surya Siddhanta, Aryabhatiya, or other Laghu Bhaskari and whatnot, this yuga of a 432,000 Kali or 4.32 million years of Mahayuga, this is a mathematical formulation to represent and estimate and define and communicate precise and accurate orbital periods of the planets. It is meant for that purpose. But what has happened, I don't know where it happened, when it happened, who did it. But essentially, we are taking that theoretical definition of 4.32 million years or 432,000 years and applying it to understand our chronological itihas or chronological history. If you can fill the next one. For example, say Panchanga purposes, we can find out Panchangas begin with 3102 BC, not a surprise. At least we can estimate, there is no number written, we can estimate that the epoch for many of the Panchanga is 3102. And if you look at the Mahabharata epoch, that has been confused with the Kali Yuga. But to solve this riddle, using the Purana evidence and the Mahabharata evidence, we have my colleague here, Jeevan Rao. So I'll pass it on to him and he's going to take it from here.
Thank you, Nilesh ji, for wonderfully explaining the category of yugas. Now let us understand this puzzle of Kali Yuga and Kali Yuga beginning. So what are the pieces of this puzzle? Puranas gives us information about the first day of Kali Yuga. And also sometimes Puranas appear to refer for the nakshatra for the first day of Kali Yuga or Tithi for the first day of Kali Yuga. Also, it is important to note that, at least from a Puranic perspective, the connection between Kali Yuga and Mahabharata. One additional piece of information that we get from Puranas related to Mahabharata is the time interval between Parikshit and Mahapadmananda. Now, if we are to connect first day of Kali Yuga with our understanding of its connection with Mahabharata, many Puranas actually state that Kali Yuga began the day Krishna left the planet. But that's not it. There are also many Puranic accounts which actually state that Kali Yuga actually began on the day the Kurukshetra war ended. That is on the last day of the war. Now, what's interesting is many Puranas actually refer to Kali Yuga as Pushya or Tishya Yuga. But that is it. Puranas does not give an explanation why Kali Yuga is called as Pushya Yuga. Once again, Mahabharata provides us the link for this reference when at one place Mahabharata states that Kali Yuga will begin in Pushya Nakshatra. Now, as much as we value all Puranic documentations, it appears that the Puranas are actually trying to collate all the available knowledge or information which they can gather at the time of their updation. So, it should not be surprising that we find contrary or conflicting observations, statements within Puranas. So that should be kept in mind. And now we are left with the final piece of the puzzle. When did Kali Yuga begin? Let us start from the Puranic accounts of Kali Yuga. Skanda Purana and Harivamsha Purana actually allude to the last day of the war as the first day of Kali Yuga. And the definition of Kali Yuga beginning with passing away of Krishna, that definition is that reference is present everywhere, be it Bhagavat Puran, Vishnu Puran, Brahmanda Puran, Devi Bhagavat, till Skanda Puran. Almost in every Purana, this definition of Kali Yuga beginning is a given. Then, as I mentioned, Kali Yuga is also referred as Pushya Yuga in multiple Puranas. Now comes the last piece of information that we get from Puranas. That is the time interval between Parikshit and Mahapadmananda. In fact, that is also not constant. It varies from just 1050 years to 3310 years. And we get this reference from various Puranas, from Vishnu Purana till Skanda Purana. Now, as I cautioned earlier, it's not surprising that we get internally conflicting evidences from Puranas. Like Skanda Purana has documented that Krishna and Balarama were born after the advent of Kali Yuga. Also, Skanda Purana has also documented that Kali Yuga will begin on the Krishna Paksha 13th day of Bhadrapada month. So what we can observe from this is Puranic authors or Puranas are basically trying to collate all the available information that they can lay their hands on at the time of their creation or updation. Now we saw that almost all Puranic accounts on Kali Yuga are in one way or the other related to personalities or events of Mahabharata. So it is really, I find it necessary to see what the Mahabharata has to say about Kali Yuga. So we decided to extract every single reference of Yuga, Kali Yuga we can find from the Mahabharata text, and it amounted to more than 90. In fact, the narration of Mahabharata actually starts from the statement of Sauti Muni when he says that at the interface of Dwapara and Kali, the two armies met at Kurukshetra. And then comes Yuganta Yugakshaya references, which stretch from Adi Parva till Ashramavasik Parva. And as the name suggests, Yuganta or Yugakshaya means end of a Yuga or wane of a Yuga. And what's more interesting here is, out of these 70 plus Yuganta references, more than 60 actually appear during the war, during the Kurukshetra war. And now comes the fascinating part. There are at least 15 plus specific Yuganta references which span from Udyoga Parva to Stri Parva. Now, what I mean by specific Yuganta reference, that is, before the war, Mahabharata texts speak of Yuganta as an impending phenomena, like it's going to happen in the future. Whereas during the war, Mahabharata speak of Yuganta as an ongoing event. And after the war, Mahabharata or the characters of Mahabharata see Yuganta as a bygone event. So thanks to Yuganta Yugakshaya references, our search for the beginning of Kali Yuga is actually narrowed down to the 18 days of the Kurukshetra war. And Mahabharata text also provides us with 15 plus specific Yuga statements, which actually will lead us to 18th day of the war as the first day of Kali Yuga. Now, thanks to the Mahabharata evidence, we have finally found the last piece of this puzzle, which is Kali Yuga began on the last day of Mahabharata war and on Pusha Nakshatra. Now, finally, after an year-long search, my research on Kali Yuga, I finally came to the realization that, contrary to the popular belief, it is actually the dating of Mahabharata war is independent of Kali Yuga. Whereas, to know the beginning of Kali Yuga, we must know the dating of Mahabharata war. So, for this purpose, I will quickly refer to the work of Sri Nilesh Ok for the dating of Mahabharata war, which he did based on 300 plus astronomy evidence from the Mahabharata text. So the scientific procedure, or how we research anything, we start from something approximately right, and we progressively move towards precisely accurate solution. So that's exactly what Nilesh Ok did. He started with the now famous Arundhati Vasishtha observation, and Arundhati Vasishtha observation will give anyone a 7,500 years time interval to search for the probable year for the Mahabharata war. And then additional 60 plus Bhishma Nirvana evidence will further narrow down the search for a 2000 year interval, and additional internal evidence from the Mahabharata and specific planetary observations, phases of moon, eclipses, seasons, all will lead anyone who reads Mahabharata to 5561 BC. Now, for our context, the last day of the war happened to be on 2nd November 5561 BCE, and guess what? The last day of the war was on Pusha Nakshatra, which we just saw corroborated by Mahabharata evidence for the beginning of Kali Yuga. And also, it's important to note here that
Jeevandaji, I think we are running close to.
Yeah, this is our last slide. If you can give me a minute, I will complete it. So there might be multiple claims with last day ending with Pusha Nakshatra. What we must keep in mind is last day of the war as Pusha Nakshatra is a necessary condition, but it's not a sufficient condition. The claim must also corroborate with the remaining Mahabharata evidence. So that's a point that we should keep in mind while we are comparing multiple claims. So quickly to summarize, there are different types of yugas, as Nilesh ji beautifully explained. Enough damage has been done due to the application of theoretical yuga to chronological yuga. Puranic accounts have collated varying traditions for Kali Yuga. And as we saw, every tradition of Kali Yuga in some way or the other is related to the personalities or events of Mahabharata. And according to Mahabharata tradition, Kali Yuga began on the last day of the war and on Pusha Nakshatra, that is 2nd November 5561 BC. We are happy to take any questions or objections.
Thank you.
So,
Nagaraj, are there any questions?
one question I think you to Nilesh ji has also raised, and I think that should be answered by me. The question is about the disagreements and how we come to an agreement about the controversies with regard to dating. Let me announce to the audience that Indic Academy has taken up a project with Professor Abhijit Chawda ji, Dr. Abhijit Chawda ji, on a debate. It is a debate project on the agreement on the dating of Mahabharata. Abhijit Chawda ji is also, like Nilesh ji, interested in the astronomical dating, and he wants to apply computer softwares and involve a big number of Sanskrit scholars, and it's a big project. And intention of Indic Academy is to come to at least some kind of agreement on the controversies with regard to dating. And it's not a small project. It cannot be done in a small debate sitting in a room for a few hours or something like that. So we have taken that up as a project, and we are going to conduct it in a big way, as big as required. That is the answer to that question about disagreements. Nilesh ji,
Thank
do you have anything to say with regard to that? And another question is, where do we read this paper or your papers? And is there a bibliography at the end of your paper? Can we go to the references and read those references also? Is another
Okay.
question to you.
Yeah, Jeevan, I will let you answer that question about the paper.
Yeah, basically all the references from the Puranic text or Mahabharata which we have extracted has been provided at the end of the paper, and the works of Nilesh Oji that I had referred, and we have also made use of the blogs that I had written previously. The links for the blogs has been provided, and the reference for Nilesh Ji's works has also been provided at the end of the paper. So it's properly referenced and structured.
Does that answer, Nagaraj, your question?
Yeah,
or
I
the
think
question that you read?
that is from an audience, some Kaja ji, Vijay Kaja ji's question that was. And if one were to pursue astronomical dating of the events in the 18 Purana, shouldn't those dates correspond exactly to the dates given by Nilesh's astronomical dating of the Mahabharata Ramayana?
Okay, the answer to that question is all the Purana have some generic statements that can be, some statements can be considered as astronomy, but there is nothing substantial in the sense of that can be objectively tested to arrive at the dating of Mahabharata from the Puranas. The closest that comes is what we showed today, is the gap between the number of years between Mahapadmananda and Parikshit, and that number itself within the Purana literature varies from 10,050 to 3,310. So it is anybody's guess what they want to pick up. Precisely for the reason, it's okay to start with a Purana and figure it out if they can figure it out. But if we are going to do the dating of Mahabharata, at the end of the day, we must go to Mahabharata. If we are going to do the dating of Ramayana or Valmiki Ramayana, we must go to Valmiki Ramayana. That is not to say we don't take any other evidence into account, but there are no specific astronomy observations as people may imagine in the Puranas.
Thank you very much, Nilesh ji. That was a wonderful paper as
Namaskar.
expected from Nilesh ji and Jeevan Rao ji.